Hey y'all, it's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today we have a fun video for you. Today we're gonna go over how to start a home-based vinyl business doing custom shirts and decals and things like that for under $1,000. Now I'm gonna preface this by saying that this is a question I get asked all the time. I get emails and Facebook messages over how to start a business like mine, and the easiest and cheapest way to get started is starting it from home. That way you have a minimal investment, and if you decide you don't like it, you're not out a whole lot of money. Now, there's a couple of things, first off, that you're definitely gonna need for this. Now, as far as vinyl plotters go, you're either gonna need your Cricut, a Silhouette, or any other home use plotter. Now they do make some bigger ones that are affordable, but I don't know a whole lot about them. And a lot of the real professional grade ones are super expensive. But getting like a Cricut or a Silhouette, you're not gonna be out a whole lot of money, Brother Scan and Cut, those types of things. So that way if you don't like doing it, you can sell it and get your money back from it. Now, the Cricuts start anywhere from $196 for the Explorer Air 2 to $316 for the Cricut Maker. But it kind of depends on what you're wanting to do with it, on which machine you're gonna want. Cricut is great for a basic at-home user or for someone who wants to design things in an outside art program. Silhouette, you can do a whole lot more with it to start with. The features in the program are a whole lot better. It just, as far as designing, but it is a little bit more complex to use. So again, that's personal preference on which you like. I typically use my Cricut for almost anything I make because I design my artwork in an outside art program. Number two, one of the other big expenses that's gonna come along with this is a heat press or an easy press. Now heat presses can range from the $150 range all the way up to the $5,000 range. But I have a review on both the heat presses I'm going to recommend today, which is the Power Press from Amazon, and I have a review under one of my playlists. I'm not sure which. I'll try to link it in the description box down below. But it's $189 from Amazon. We have one at the shop. The big heat press that I use, I get asked all the time, is a Hotronix Air Fusion, and those are about $5,000. Most people, when you're starting off, that's typically, if I didn't have a DTG printer, which is a direct to garment printer, that would definitely not be a heat press I would recommend for someone who's just wanting to press shirts, because it's pricey and you can get something that's a lot more inexpensive that does the exact same thing. It's cool because it's air powered, but you don't really have to have that. And the Cricut Easy Press is great as well. So it kind of just depends on how much you're wanting to use and what types of projects that you're wanting to do would depend on what I would truly recommend, but both of them are great and they both have their pros and cons. To me, the Cricut Easy Press, you can do bigger items like the tablecloths and things like that a whole lot easier. The heat press, you definitely get your even pressure, so it kind of just depends. Number three is, if you're really wanting to get into it and do it well, an outside art program, such as CorelDRAW, which is about $100 for the home and family suite. Inkscape, that's free. You can get that off of, you can just download it on the computer. And Adobe Illustrator, which Adobe Illustrator's a little bit different of a beast. That is $239.88 yearly. CorelDRAW, you get your CD, so that is yours to keep. Inkscape, again, is free. Now there's pros and cons with each of those as well. It kind of depends on what you're familiar with and what you like. I personally use CorelDRAW, love CorelDRAW. I've used CorelDRAW for many years. If you look back on that shelf, there is a book that says CorelDRAW for Dummies. I still reference that whenever it's been a while since I've used certain features, so I still pull that out. but some people like Adobe products and they're more familiar with that. Inkscape is a completely different beast altogether, and the one thing I don't like about Inkscape is it is an open source program, so people can go in and change the code at any time, so that can make things wonky, and they call things different in Inkscape versus CorelDRAW and Adobe Illustrator. But those all three are vector art programs. Now, the important reason why I say it needs to be a vector art program is because the way that it works for an EPS, an SVG, a CDR file, which these are all types of vector files, which are what make your cut files for your Silhouette or for your Cricut, is it can be shrink down to the size of a pen or blown up to billboard size, and it never gets pixelated. It is actually a mathematical equation on how the artwork is designed. But typically vector images are not fades and things like that. But when you're talking about getting into printing vinyl and things like that, that's a whole different ball game and different things that I would recommend for that, which is definitely not under the $1,000 range. Another thing you're gonna need is vinyl, whether it be heat transfer or adhesive, and there's several different brands of each out there. My favorites to use, I typically only use for adhesive vinyl, Oracal 651, and I also use Avery and 3M, but those are more for my printable stuff, and I like the Specialty Materials Glitter Flex Ultra. They're super shiny. It's like a textured glitter. I really like that. And the difference between 631 and 651, a lot of people ask that, is 651 is a permanent adhesive. 631 is a removable adhesive. So if you're doing a car decal, you're not gonna wanna use 631. Where we live in Southeast Texas with the heat and humidity, we can't use 631 on walls. In some areas you can because it's removable and it won't damage your paint. But in our area, because of the heat and humidity, it doesn't last, it rolls right off. So I typically will still use my 651 for pretty much everything that I use my adhesive on. And for heat transfer, which is what you'd use on shirts and things like that, there's Caesar, there's Specialty Materials, they make Thermoflex Plus, and there's several other brands. But the two big ones are Thermoflex and Caesar. I personally like Thermoflex over the Caesar vinyl. I feel like it looks a little bit more expensive. It has a true matte finish versus Caesar has it's a little bit shinier. They both have their, as I said, their pros and cons. I like how Thermoflex washes better, but everybody has their own preferences on it. Everybody's got glitters. I do not, and let me state this again, I do not like Cricut brand vinyl, at least at this point. I have tried it several times. I have not found anything that is worth the price that they want for it. It just does not work well for me at all. I just don't think it's the best quality vinyl out there. So just saying that, that's a personal opinion. Some people love it, I do not. So just stating that again, I don't recommend Cricut vinyl. And then other than that, you're gonna need blanks, whether it be blank t-shirts, blank cups, those types of things. And I use Bell Canvas 90% of the time when I'm making a t-shirt. You can find them on our website, you can find them other places. That is my favorite quality. You can get Gildan t-shirts and stuff like that at Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. They're inexpensive, but they're not really the best quality t-shirt. But if someone's wanting, you know, a shirt to be worn once, that would probably be what I would recommend them sticking with. And then cups, you can buy those at Dollar Tree all day long. They have different kinds, glasses, wine glasses, beer mugs, that type of thing, for $1 each. Dollar Tree is where I get a lot of blanks. They have some good stuff, and it's really inexpensive, that once you take and add your vinyl to it, it looks a lot more expensive than what it is. And it depends on how much you want to invest in blanks. You can make one thing, try to sell it, and then make something else. depends on how much you're wanting to invest altogether. Then we're gonna talk about tools. This is some of the big things that you're gonna want to use, which is you're gonna need good scissors. I like the titanium scissors. Breakaway blades, these are handy to have around. This is what I like to use to weed my vinyl, and when I say weed my vinyl, that is removing the excess vinyl. This is the Easy Weed and Wooden Pick. I sell these on my website. But Cricut and other make tools that are similar. Again, personal preference on what you like to use. Squeegee, alcohol. I typically use denatured alcohol. You find it in the paint section at Lowe's, but you can use just regular isopropyl alcohol that you can buy at Walgreens. It's great to clean any type of grease off your surface, so that's why I use alcohol. T-shirt guide. This is one of our biggest sellers. This is something we make that you can't find anywhere else. And you buy for the size of your press. So if you have a 16-inch press, you buy a 16-inch ruler. If you have a 15-inch press, you buy the 15-inch ruler. And I have tons of videos on how to use it. Teflon sheet, Teflon pillows, transfer tape, all that kind of stuff. And on our website, and I'll leave it linked in the description box down below, we have a few basic bundles to get you started if you're interested in trying it, which again, you don't have to purchase from us, but we always appreciate it when you do. We have the adhesive starter kit, which is $20.95. That is all of your basic 8 colors like red, blue, green, yellow, orange, purple, black, brown, white, and silver. So it's your basics. An HTV kit that's like that, a glitter basic bundle kit that's like that. The HTV starter kit is $35.95. The glitter kit is $53.95. And then we have adhesive toolkit and an HTV tools kit, which for the adhesive toolkit, you get black and white glossy, a squeegee, a pick, a breakaway blade, transfer tape, the application fluid. And then for the HTV toolkit, which is $65.95, you get the t-shirt guide, black and white. Actually, you get a squeegee with both of them, but with the adhesive toolkit, you get the felt edge squeegee as well. Pick, Teflon sheet, Teflon pillow, Teflon flat iron covers. So that's an option for you. And if you bought all 5 of those kits together, it's $226. So as a running total without including blanks, if you bought the basic Cricut, the Power Press, and the Corel Draw with the stuff from my website, you'd be looking at $726.65. So you still have like $275 you could use on blanks. Now you need to check and see what your state and local, state or country, because I know a lot of you watch me who are not in the United States, for tax rules and regulations and for registering your business. One other thing you definitely need is to come up with your name and come up with something that's cute, catchy. Social media is a great way to market it. So if you make a Facebook page, make a Facebook group, Instagram, those types of things help get your name out there. And you can either sell through like Facebook or through Etsy. I mean, you can also set up a website, but those can get kind of pricey when you're just starting and you're not sure if this is what you want to do. This is kind of like, I'm wanting to do this, but I just want to barely dip my toes in. This is the kind of list that I would recommend for someone just to kind of test and see if that's the way that they're wanting to go. One hint that I will definitely give you for if this is something that you're thinking about doing, a big thing I will tell you is do not accept a job unless you know you can do it. Do not accept a custom job without at least a deposit that covers your materials. Because a lot of times the people that know you best will try to get it for free or be like, oh, I'll pay you, and then never do. And I don't say that to be mean, it's just the nature of running a business and you have to treat it like a business. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to check me out on all my social medias, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, as well as my second channel, which is just Betsy Gocher, which is where I do all things makeup and all things Disney. But I guess that's it for today's video, so we'll see y'all on Friday. Bye.